I'm Lizzie.
And I'm Izzy, and we need help.
Each week we stumble through a new book, method, or concept that brings us one step closer to being our best self.
Yes, we make fun of ourselves.
And others.
But mostly just ourselves. So here's to not taking self-help quite so seriously. Hey everybody, in this episode, the Afterbirth for Dana Morningstar's The Narcissist Playbook, we're going to talk about the aftermath of getting out of a relationship with a narcissist. What else are we going to talk about?
We talked about how Isa, in a healthy way, stalked her ex. And
for research purposes.
Yes, of course. Just, And then I deemed all the narcissists irrelevant and made it all about their targets, like us, and how important it is to kind of move on and live your best life. So it was really fun. I hope you guys enjoy.
Yeah, enjoy, guys.
Welcome to We Need Help. I'm Lizzie.
And I'm Izzy, and this is the Afterbirth for...
What is the Afterbirth for?
It's for, what's the title of the book? The
Narcissist Playbook.
That's it.
By Dana Morningstar.
Dana Morningstar.
I'm telling you, she is cool.
She's cool.
I'm glad she wrote this book. I really am. Thank you, Dana. Broad stroke.
Broad stroke, thank you.
We really like you.
I thought this was a good 2 episodes.
This was a great 2 episodes, and it was great because it was like truly therapeutic. I worked through so much in this book and became so self-aware of what mistakes I made in the relationship and what mistakes were made, and like how I think I became a better person because of this book.
Your narcissist radar was like fine-tuned.
Man, well, I didn't have it before.
It was installed. It was installed.
Oh shit! But it was really good. I say, okay, so you're going to go through your afterbirth, which is great because you did a little.
I did do the
fun
stalking.
stuff.
Yeah, I did. Do some fun stuff. So I'm going to do the afterbirth on part 1, and Lizzie's going to do the afterbirth for part 2. Yeah.
And then we're going to talk about how life feels after the narcissist or manipulator, user, hornswoggler, liar, whatever you want to call them, is out of your life, and how you're going to feel at first, and to push through that first feeling. So we'll talk about that after the 2 afterbirths.
Yes.
The 2 placentas.
The 2 placentas are extracted, and then...
Oh,
don't eat it. Okay. So, first thing was the Dana Morningstar's podcast, which is Thrive After Abuse. I said I would listen to it, and I didn't, but you did.
I did.
And?
I did. She's good. Okay. She's good. If you are feeling exhausted in a relationship, go to thriveafterabuse.com. And there are so many tools there. And like, her podcast is great. She is also featured, if you do better, on YouTube. She has a channel there too. Tons of followers.
Yeah, she's really... what I did like about her podcast is she's got Q&As. So those are good. I love Q&As. We should do a Q&A at some point. Where just people come on and ask, questions.
And we give answers. That's what Q&A means.
I love that.
Okay. Q.
Shut up.
Well, first Q. What is Q&A?
Q is...
You put the A in Q&A.
Yeah. So that was that. But, so and she's got 320 some episodes. That's amazing. That is amazing.
Yeah. We can say that's a real feat.
That is an achievement. So that's that. Second thing was the guy who was conning all these women out of money. We were talking about him on Netflix, and he is the Tinder swindler. The Tinder swindler, and he's conning women out of money, millions and millions. And his name is Simon Hewitt. or Shimon Hiut, and he's from Israel. And he's apparently no longer swindling. He's got like a model, and he said thanks to Netflix now he's actually making real money, but who knows if that's true.
Yeah, he's probably got Netflix swindled.
Yeah. Like
that was some crazy shit.
That was crazy shit. I mean, I know this is the victim blaming thing, and I know that, but like,
don't do it. Don't do it.
Do not send men money ever, ever. No, no.
Let's just be clear. Men are to give you money. You are not to send money.
Like who? Never, ever, ever, ever. Never, ever.
Yeah. If you were, in fact, born without a vagina, you may send somebody money. But if you were born with a vagina.
Were you born with a vagina? You may be entitled to compensation. So, have you ever been swindled? Like, has a guy ever conned you out of money?
A man? I definitely say I've paid for more than my share in one of my relationships, but I wouldn't call it swindled. And I mean, no, no, I have not been. No.
Yeah.
Have you?
No, I'm a gold digger. I'm the swindler. I'm the swindler. I'm the swindler. Look at me. I'm the swindler here. I'm the swindler here.
I don't pay. I get paid. That's like. You didn't see a friggin' Pretty Woman asking Richard Gere if he would give her directions, did you?
So that's that.
No. This whole thing corners like it's on rails, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
Oh, good stuff.
This podcast is my second career, you know what I mean? Oh, I love pretending I'm a pot prostitute. It's so fun.
It is fun. So that was the Tinder swindler. That's hard to say. And then I just wanted to go back to the movie that I was talking about, the Gaslight movie, where the husband.
Yeah.
So the title of the movie, it's from the 1940s. It's called Gaslight. And
that's.
Yeah, it stars Ingrid Bergman and Charles Boyer, who I don't know who that is. But after the death of her famous opera singing aunt, Paula, played by Ingrid Bergman, is sent to study in Italy to become a great opera singer as well. While she's there, she falls in love with the charming Gregory Antone, who's played by Charles Boyer. The two return to London, and she starts noticing strange things going on, like missing pictures, strange footsteps in the night, and gaslights that dim without being touched. So she's like questioning her own sanity.
Yeah.
And then it turns out
Ingrid Bergman.
Yeah, it turns out it was her husband the whole time, like trying to make her go insane, which that's the gaslighting thing. Like, are the lights different in here? No. That picture's missing. What picture? There was never a picture there. That's the whole gaslighting thing. So that's interesting.
That's what, and a lot of times these motherless cunts or AKA manipulators, narcissists. Yeah, manipulator. They'll ignore you and act like nothing, like when you're like, are you okay? They're like, yeah, like, or they'll cut you off from like communication, or they'll not do things like, you know,
you start questioning your sanity.
You're just like, what the fuck? Are you okay? Well, yeah, I'm okay. You know, or short answers, or being real quiet and muted, and you're just like, did I, like, what's happening here? Yeah. They do it. That's not you. That's them.
Yeah. So that's that. I'm gonna check out I'm gonna watch that movie, by the way, because I like older movies. I think that's cool.
Oh yeah, especially Ingrid Bergman. She's like
fantastic.
The bomb.
Fantastic.
My mom watches all that shit.
Yeah.
And like sometimes things will seep out of her wording, like the 1940s. Like I swear she was like she's from that time.
She starts talking like an old-timey actress. Lizzie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Why don't you come around for dinner?
It's more Hollywood.
Oh.
Like, it's more like the, you know.
I need the vapors.
Yes, exactly. And she'll just like come out with some sort of phrase, and you're like, where the hell did that come from? But she watches not Masterpiece Theater. Oh, damn, this is an Afterbirth thing. I'll think of it.
Yeah, cool. And then finally, for the Afterbirth, I was supposed to stalk my narcissist ex, which seemed like a really healthy thing to do.
It was so non-toxic,
I couldn't really... I did it a little bit. I did like a whole Google thing, and he's changed careers like a million times. He moves around a lot, which seems like that would be a narcissist move.
It is. Like, that's a big-time thing.
Yeah. He's changed careers, countries, and... a lot of military stuff going on. So that's weird. I couldn't actually stalk him directly on Facebook because I'm not friends with him. But I have a friend who's friends with him. So I was like, called her. I'm like, can you stalk? She goes, what are you doing? Like, it's research.
It's totally healthy.
Yeah.
It's completely healthy. How did you feel? Did you get to see his face? Did you feel sick or?
No, but I just saw from his... When I saw his picture, I just saw that he hasn't changed. He's still got that smirky.
Did you judge a book by its cover?
I judged completely.
Yeah, I did. I do that. Why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah. But, I just see there was a lot of chaos surrounding him that he tried to convince was my chaos. And I still see the chaos. It's kind of reflected in the social media. So I'm like, I was actually so relieved to be free of that.
Oh, God, yeah.
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 So that's all from my side.
Is that all you got?
That's all I got.
That's all you got?
Yeah. What you got?
Well, mine was not that bad. Like, we had, who was the guy that you might be a redneck if? You might be a redneck if.
Is it Jeff Foxworthy?
It is. It is. And you might be a narcissist if we need to come up with some definite, red flags, to do. We'll come up with that and put it on Instagram or something. But really, that was it on that one. So I wanted to go through and just talk about what happens, because we talked about the narcissist.
Yeah.
We talked about
extraction.
Extraction. But we didn't talk about the fact that once you're out of it, how you're going to feel.
The process, yeah.
The process. So, right now, our all contact ended. I think our friendship ended basically back in October, but we had to have contact until April 1st.
Okay.
Well, actually, we quit speaking the first week of March. So that's how long it's really been. But we've been completely free of each other since April 1st. Mm-hmm. So, which at first, you're so confused when you're getting out of this relationship, because you've been through the idealization, which is when you first get into the relationship, and that's like the honeymoon stage. And then things start chipping away, in the devaluing stage. That's when they're starting to realize that they've used you too much. Mm-hmm. And they're now they're seeking and searching for their next target. Mm-hmm. That's what's happening. It's not you. That's what's happening.
Okay.
And then comes the discard.
Okay.
Once the discard happens, it's no longer about these irrelevant pieces of shit. It's on you. Now you're there, and you are first feeling disbelief. You have no idea what just fucking happened to you. You're it feels like you just came off of a carnival ride. You're blaming yourself, because they love people who take self-accountability. That is their, they love it. They almost love people who like are A-type personalities who like to feel powerful to control the situation, because then you're like taking all the accountability.
So yeah, they love people blame themselves for the
yes.
Yeah. For the like they discard you, but you blame yourself. Yeah.
So you're sitting there, you're like, okay, something's wrong with me. Like I'm unlovable. I'm a bad friend. I'm a bad employee.
I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough.
I'm not good enough in some way. I got to fix I got to fix this.
Yeah.
Like something has to happen with me.
Yeah.
And you're like, you start going through facts, which most A-type people go to when they're desperate. And then you realize it's not at all about you. You start you start writing shit down. You start doing your pro-con list. I don't know how you handle it, but like, that's what, like, and I'll go into like, okay. And then you're confused. You're like, what the hell just happened to me? Because,
if you're discarded, because there's the other side where you get out, right? So it's a little.
No, a discard, they're either going to just plain have to get rid of you because they found a new person and you're just annoying. Mm-hmm. Or they're going to force your hand to get out. They are wanting to get rid of you no matter what. Whether or not they push you out, or whether or not they, write the email or you do. You know what I mean? Whether they break up or you break up. Got it. They are mindfully getting rid of you.
Okay.
So, and that's all of them.
Okay.
They may not be like, I want to throw her away, but they know that there's no other option.
Okay.
Like, you're used. Your boundaries are up. You've gone gray rock. If you wonder what gray rock is, listen to the last episode. But you're doing all of your tactics to protect yourself, and that means you're no longer of use to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So after they're like, have the discard phase is gone, you're in disbelief, you feel worthless, you're completely confused.
Yeah.
Then you get to a point where you've written down, or you've gone to therapy, or you've or both, and you go into a stillness. There's do you remember that there being a stillness after your either Becky was her friend that was a complete narcissist. We've changed her name. I don't know why, because we're cool like that. And then Aaron, your boyfriend, do you remember these two phases? The disbelief, the worthlessness, and the confusion, and then a stillness.
With Aaron, yeah. But Becky was different because I was more self-aware. So it was just like, I didn't. I think if you're at a certain level of self-awareness, you don't have as much of the grieving quote unquote process or the discard process. It was just like it went straight to stillness. It was relief and stillness with Becky, but with Aaron there was that process, but then the stillness did come. Yeah.
Well, I'm not that self-aware in this department. So like the stillness was like, okay, wait a second. This feels good.
Yeah.
This feels like 130 pounds is off my back.
Yeah.
This feels like weird. It feels quiet. Because I think a lot of these manipulators and narcissists and users and stuff, they like to keep it completely chaotic around them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a really good way to get people not to see the man behind the curtain.
Yeah. It was I love that stillness. It's just, nothing like that sense of calm.
And then then there's the relief, where you're like, oh my God, I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa! That was like that's been me. It's been so relieving. And then the relief. Yeah. It's just the relief and the rise.
Do you feel like you have any PTSD? I know that's an overused word, but I'm just using it in general, like any post-traumatic stuff. Because I remember with Aaron, sorry, I had sort of a looking over my shoulder thing because I escaped. And I had this thing where I was afraid for about 6 or 7 months that he would pop back in. I was so afraid that he would pop back in. And I think there was that fear that they're going to reappear and I'm not going to be strong enough to, it's like, I was really afraid of the reemergence of this, of the narcissist.
I'm very aware that it's not over yet. And I
What do you mean?
It could, smear campaign is just happening all the time because I get phone calls all the time about it.
Yeah.
See, there's a problem. This is why they don't stick around forever. This is like the truth exposes them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you just tell the truth, you don't do half truths, you don't do hearsay, you just say what exactly happened.
Yeah.
It exposes them. So I think that there's a lot, a lot of people are like just calling me and I'll be like, no, that's not true. That's just not true. I mean, it's just not true. And I'll just speak the truth and let it go.
Yeah.
And there's no anger.
Yeah.
I mean, but if I have any anger, really, and I don't know if you felt like this, it is 100% with myself. Because I regret not acting on my gut again. And I saw the red flags. I put my child in danger. Thank God nothing happened. I didn't believe people that were less fancy with their truth. I didn't take the red flags. I just collected them as if they were a bouquet and walked down the fucking aisle, basically. And it just, I am mad at myself. I'm not angry with her. It's like being angry with a lizard for being a lizard. It's like...
I always say when I have these women that I'm coaching that it's when they're angry, for example, when they're in like these relationships that are not great. And it's like sitting in the beehive and you're sitting there and you're getting mad at the bees for stinging you. It's like you got to leave the hive, and getting angry at the nature of the bee that it's stinging me. And it's that analogy, like why didn't I just leave the hive,
Yeah, I mean, that's the only anger I have. I mean, she really is irrelevant in the whole situation.
Yeah.
When I really think about it, like, she did not matter. What mattered was I didn't do what I was supposed to do for myself and my child and, my family, whatever. But, like, she's irrelevant. In fact, I know that because now, without her, my life is actually better.
Yeah.
It's more calm and so, and that's what I was going to say. The last part is you realize that, like, because when they're out of your life, you're no longer frazzled. You're no longer the crazy one.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I mean, it was taxing. It's taxing to have these people in your life.
Yeah. It's an energy drainer.
It's what do they call them? Energy vampires.
And what I didn't like, and I don't know if you had this, but I had this with with Aaron and Becky. I had just this underlying anxiety all the time.
Yeah.
And being free of that was the best. Like no more anxiety.
So good.
Because I was like always fearful that I would say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing or get them when the person's mad at you, like when the narcissist is mad at you, I was afraid. And it was, and then I like just letting go of all of that toxicity and fear. It's just like, ooh, I can breathe again. I can just wake up without that knot in my stomach,
Yeah, the knot, and it's unfortunately, and I don't think they're aware of it. Let me just be clear about this. I think it's such a survival tactic for them, and to be more importantly clear, who gives a fuck why they do it? Because you got to get out. But like for us, we like to like think about the why behind everything. They are in survival mode. This has come from some sort of bad thing in their life.
Yeah.
But, that's one thing that for the Afterbirth I was supposed to look up and did. They can reform.
Okay.
They can reform. There is an amazing guy that is a recovering narcissist. His name is, or he is Motivations.
Mm-hmm.
And he's really cool. He's really cool on
Raw
YouTube.
Motivations is what? His
name on YouTube. That's his channel.
Okay, I'm like, is that his name?
Yeah, Raw Motivations. But yeah, he was talking about it, and he was like, this is what, when I like was in my narcissist ways, this is what I did. But I think it's, just like all of us, like I like to control the situation because I am scared of the consequences that could happen, and someone could get hurt, somebody could get this, somebody could get that. That's from my past. These people are doing their stuff because of their past. Not that it matters, get the hell out.
Yeah.
But I did feel like an immense amount of anxiety all the time on purpose. Like it was on purpose. She was making sure I did not feel comfortable.
Did you feel complete relief when you were finally out, or was there still some anxiety?
For the first week, there was major anxiety and major anger because I had done so much for her. And you think like, you don't do things for people because of how they'll return it, but you do expect some sort of like respect for your efforts or honor for your efforts, and they just don't have it to give because they don't respect anything. They just don't. They don't respect material things. They don't respect other people's money. They don't respect other people's time. They don't respect anything that doesn't have to do with them.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. And they cling to codependence. They love them.
Yeah.
They love savers, codependents, fixers. They just love them. And this next target of hers is just, the poor thing is like a wealth for needing approval.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing when I was healthily stalking my ex for research. I saw his...
It's like the good kind of stalking. It's not the bad.
It's the research kind of stalking.
She didn't fall out of the tree.
I saw his girlfriend. She looks a lot like me, first of all. He's got a type. But I felt... I was like... I almost wanted to reach out and say, are you okay? Like it was just one of those things because she looks lovely. Obviously, if she looks like me, she's lovely. But
she's gorgeous.
Yeah, so I was just like, I was curious because I think the other thing that the narcissist, when you're in that relationship, you think, maybe he's better with her. Maybe he's not. He's only evil with me. Like you somehow think you're like uniquely broken or something where they're, and so I'm like wondering like, I hope she's okay. And I wonder if he was only that way with me but then I'm like, no, it's,
Yeah. It's funny because like they have to have a villain too. Have you noticed this?
Yeah.
Like they have to have a villain big time.
Yeah.
So listen to this. The friend of mine that she first made the triangle with and villainized her.
Yeah.
She was the first villain. Then obviously I was a couple villains later, but like she was villainizing me. She started talking to the first target.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's going back in. She's double dipping, I call that.
That's the worst. I was afraid. That's what I was afraid of. Like, I didn't want to be contacted again. I was like so afraid of that. Like, I didn't want it. Once I was done, I was done. I did not want any return, you know, and I was a little afraid of that with Becky, especially, that she would be like, oh, I was, you know, and, like, I'm just not having it. That is a firm, for me, line in the cement that's dried. Like, you know.
Well, they will try to come back and idealization you into, because their approval feels so good.
Yeah.
You know, that you like, oh God, and you think of that honeymoon stage when it was so good, this, that, and the other thing. And we as humans, we really do become, you know, we forget the bad. That's how we survive.
And we like to feel special. So when somebody says, like, no one understood me like you did, or I never had, you know, so much fun, we want to be the best at something. You know, we want to be the number one. We want to be special. Don't fall for it.
Yeah. Well, and, you know, at the end, she said, you know, I'd really like someday to sit down and talk about why this happened.
Yeah.
And I just said, we'll see. And I was thinking to myself, there is no way I would ever sit at a table with you ever again.
Oh, I had to sit at a table with Becky.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
How did that go?
Because she was friends with, you know, some of the people in my group of friends.
Mm-hmm.
So it was fine. I was neutral.
Yeah.
I was restored to a place of neutrality. So I was fine. I was kind. I have no resentment, no animosity. I'm completely restored to a position of neutrality in my heart. Yeah, because I let her go in my heart. So I'm and I'm
going to tell you, Scarlett's fine. I said, well, you know what? There's going to be times when we're going to see her.
Yeah,
and she said, I don't care if I see her. Yeah, I mean, she's like, I'm fine with it. She's like, I let her go a long time in my heart.
Yeah,
you know, a long time ago in my heart. Yeah. Which you know, you got to take a kid's lead on that.
Yeah,
they just move on. You know.
Yeah, I mean It's not comfortable. I mean, because I'm awkward anyway. I'm always awkward, but it was slightly awkward, but it wasn't bad, you know. So it was yeah.
Well, and there's some people who have to like see them every other weekend and Wednesdays because they're like children with a narcissist. That's got to be tough.
Yeah. Because
here you are, like they're like guides for your child.
Yeah.
You know, and I really like we should put out something about how to deal with that, because that is a true, like, I have friends that have reached out to me that are dealing with that, and it's like, frick, I mean, what are you going to do?
You have to make
Earl's got to die.
Uninteresting. Gray rock. All right, and we got anything else today?
No, but I love you. I want to talk about one more thing. Can we?
Yeah.
The story of you and I accidentally running into each other at the Gap. You were living in Poland, but you had this boyfriend. The magnitude of that kind of hit me. Like when I was listening to the episode.
For our listening audience. So I was dating this guy who was he wasn't a narcissist, but it wasn't, you know, anyway, I was in Poland, or in the U.S., visiting from Poland, and I was on my way to the airport, and I had to run to the Gap to get something, like, quickly, like a sweatshirt or something, because it was, like, going to be cold. And then Lizzie was just happened to be at that Gap. And I said,
Scarlett.
Yeah, and I said, what do you think of my guy? And she goes, you're just not as shiny as you are. You know, he doesn't increase your shine. Like, your shine gets dimmed. And that's all she said. And
I cannot believe I said that.
Yeah.
And, like, how powerful is that one little line? You're just not as shiny around him.
Yeah.
And, like, that's all I said. And first of all, I can't believe I was that honest with you at the time. And I'm so glad I was.
Yeah.
And I think we should always be honest like that.
And you know what? I've carried that statement into my future relationships. It's been a very important statement for me. Am I my shiniest self with this person?
Oh my God. I love that I was like, a part of that.
For you, it's just like off the cuff. You were just brutally honest and it just came out. But that is something that I've carried with me in my heart.
Oh my God. It just made me feel like, I can't believe I said that. And it must have been higher power working through me.
Yeah.
You know, or whatever, like you want to call it. It was just like, I just can't believe I said that to you. I'm so glad I did. But like,
yeah,
we should really be honest with our friends and family about what you see.
Yeah.
And in the most kind, loving way. Like that is an indicator right then and there. Like that's an indicator that you should probably egolessly tell people what you see.
Yeah. And even if you're wrong, it's like, I have this girl that I'm coaching and I see very clearly that he's a narcissist and, you know, and she goes, well, we're thinking about getting married. And I said, you know what? I don't give relationship advice in my coaching, but I'm just going to say this. Don't. And she's like, really? And I was like, really? And she goes, because I was thinking, she goes, I'm not sure. I go, okay, I'm not going to say don't, but I said, if you're unsure, don't do it.
Don't.
Yeah.
Don't. That's that ping that we're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. That feeling, you know, the gut.
Yeah. The gut.
Yeah.
We're given the gut for a reason.
Exactly. Yeah.
So next week it's Gary V 12 and a half. I'm super excited about it.
I just started. I can't wait.
I love my GV. Yeah.
All right.
So cool. Yeah. I'm so glad you started it.
Yeah.
And we have exciting things coming up, everybody. I can't, it's good.
It's really good.
We have a store. We have an online store coming.
I know. I have so many ideas for it. So anyway, yay!
All right. Yay. Love it.
Love you. Bye, everybody.
Talk to you soon. Bye. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. Rate and follow us if you like us. If you don't, please don't.
And come visit us at www.theweneedhelppodcast.com. There you can find show notes, links for books. You can join Audible, which is, how we actually read our books. We listen to them. And we have special exclusive content just for you. Also, feel free to subscribe to our Patreon account. That's where you can support us financially because we need it. And it can be anywhere from $1 to $100 billion a month, whatever you can afford. And the link to our Patreon account is www.patreon, and that's spelled patreon.com/We Need Help Podcast. And you can support us on there. We would really appreciate it because we do need help.
Awesome. And we will see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday. Thanks,
Bye.
loves. Bye.